Debacle in Washington. Let's go first to the House, which is now in recess, subject to the call of the chair. House Speaker John Boehner, his Republican leadership team are right this moment twisting arms to try to corral enough votes to pass the Speaker's debt ceiling plan. We are still expecting a vote on that plan to occur tonight. We have no indication whatsoever that anything else is in the offing. We'll be bringing you that vote just as soon as it occurs. And we want you to know that Fox News Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry can now report that sources are telling him Speaker Boehner has 25 no or leaning no votes to deal with. We'll keep you posted. And in the meantime, I'm joined by three prominent American voices. WMAL radio talk show host Chris Blank. Chris, good to have you with us. Hank Smith, Chief Investment Officer for Haverford Trust Company. Hank, good to have you here. Dal LaMagna, who is the founder of Tweezerman, author of the book Raising Eyebrows, which is still one of my favorite titles. Failed entrepreneur finally gets it right. Thank you all for being here. Let me start with you, Chris. Even by Washington standards, this is high drama and overcooked theater, I think, probably, if you happen to be the Speaker of the House right now.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, this is really over the top. It puts reality TV to shame, doesn't it? And apparently a lot of the Republicans, in particular Tea Party-supported members of Congress now, didn't get the memo that all of this is supposed to be about party politics and not about the math problem. You know, I've been saying for some time that the Republicans are attacking the problem and Democrats are attacking Republicans. What we have here is a math issue, and unfortunately it's being dealt with almost entirely within the arena of politics instead of economics.
Well, as Washington and both parties continue to demonstrate day in and day out, their math is not their long suit. Dal, what is your reaction?
I'm wondering why are they talking about a debt ceiling, or why are they talking about a deficit when there are 25 million Americans who are unemployed? Nothing, raising taxes or cutting spending is not going to create one job. I'm sitting here as an American. I talked to my brother. He's now has a small business. He's very worried. He's worried that interest rates are going to go up, or the cash is going to stop flowing. Me, I'm just saying hell with it. I feel my father was a fireman, and the house is burning, and the government is like arguing whether or not to supply water to the hydrant.
And you would ascribe blame to the White House and the Congress equally? You would ascribe the blame to Republicans and Democrats equally?
Yeah, both of them. I think they're thinking about themselves and their political futures instead of the Americans who need jobs.
Hank, you're watching right now just like I am, looking at numbers on the futures on the overseas markets. I mean, what are these people playing at?
Well, Lou, it reminds me a little bit of the rhetoric and hysteria that we went through during 1999 leading up to Y2K. Look, the most sensitive barometer, the bond market, isn't registering any concern at all with the 10-year Treasury at 2.95%.
And equities, people are walking around wringing their hands like they had a certain pulse on what would be the correct path on the part of these policymakers, if you will.
Right, but only this week. Yeah. It was up the preceding 3 weeks.
Yeah, or they're decided, Chris Plant, that maybe they'll just instead watch the markets in Tokyo or maybe in the UK as guidance as to how a $15 trillion economy ought to be directed. I mean, this is really getting to be very silly. This is, if there's been a demonstration of the absence of leadership in the White House, the Treasury Department, and I think one argue on Capitol Hill, this is absolutely it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, even the New York Times today, Lou, is describing Barack Obama as a bystander who is watching all of this happen. There's absolutely no leadership. There has been no leadership, a lot of demagoguing, a lot of accusing, attacking, name-calling, indictments being bandied about. But there are all kinds of realities going on here that have serious ramifications. And well, I would like to see us working on jobs. There is this issue with Standard & Poor's warning us right now that if we don't shave at least $4 trillion off of our projected spending for the next 10 years.
I'm sorry, Standard & Poor's first has no role in this political debate. Number two, they lost all standing as far as many people are concerned when they couldn't even figure out what was happening in 2008. Dal, you get the last word.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan must be turning over in his grave. When he cut taxes in 1984, he expected us rich people to invest in jobs, not play the stock market or hand your money over to hedge fund managers.
Or perhaps carry out an international investing program for your company instead of worry about your domestic business practices and their consequences.
If you're a rich American.
Dal, thanks so much. Hank Smith, thank you. Chris Plank, good to see you. Up next, waiting on a vote in the House of Representatives on the Boehner debt ceiling.